Hey guys, welcome back. This is Ben Acosta with Lightning Striking and Conditioning, and in today's video we're going to be covering a special request by one of my clients. It was under the comment section of my front snap kick versus front push kick video. If you need to check that one out, go back and take a look in the playlist. But his comment was he requested a video covering the rear leg or power leg side kick. So if you guys have any questions about any martial arts techniques, please send them in the comments, reach out directly in a message. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out as well. So, as we talk about the rear leg side kick, I can demonstrate in the air first and then I'll go to the bag. But I'm gonna go in a traditional martial arts stance. I got my guard up. My stance isn't too narrow like a boxer, it's a little bit open, and I'm traditionally opened up here. Now, the power leg side kick or rear leg side kick comes all the way across the body from the back side to the front. So, it's kind of a slow developing kick, some would call it, and that's just because of the time it takes to get from the back to the front side of the body. There's a lot of different things that can happen in that time. There's a lot of mistakes that plenty of people make where they'll try to round the kick out and they end up getting jammed up on the inside. So I'm here in my power leg stance. In order to do my side kick, I really want my body facing that direction in order to make it a side kick coming out of my right hip from the side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a pre-pivot. There's a few ways I can do this. I'm going to pivot both feet. This front one I'm going to open up, back one I'm going to pivot on the ball of the foot. Now that could also be a step if you prefer, or you could just shift that weight underneath. Now as you do that, this opens up your hip, and notice I'm not just doing square, I'm going all the way to where my chest and my hips are almost already starting to face that direction. Now I'm going to open up with my fold. I like to tell people to fold like you're throwing the front kick to the side. Fold here. Now, as we fold here, you want to flex that foot already and be in flexion so that you're strong as you go through the technique. So again, a quick review there. 1, 2. Make sure that foot is folded. The other foot should also be pointed in that direction for now. Now, when we release this kick, we're going to shoot it out at this direction, meaning our bottom foot is going to need a pivot to open up our hips correctly. So, going to that point. 1, 2, open up the hip and extend. 3, recoil. 4, set down. 5. Now, the recoiling and setting down back here is optional. You'll see a lot of people finish this kick with the fold and a drop and then step back or continue to fight with that off stance. But what's not optional is your foot position. So, at the end of the kick, in order to make this a proper side kick, your toes need to be at least 90 degrees or they can be slightly downward. The moment that the toes go up, you're no longer using your glute and you start to use the top of your leg, so you're losing a little bit of power from this side kick. So, I'm here again in the air. Now, finishing mechanics. Most people have learned this kick to be taught and hitting with the heel of the foot. Toes are sideways, the heel is a perfect target. In specific styles, you'll hear what's called a knife edge side kick. In American Kempo Karate, we are taught that, and at a high level, a lot of the black belts and higher levels use that. That is the variation which I prefer, meaning if you could zoom in on that foot, regular side kick is just here, flexed. This is a knife edge side kick, where you blade that ankle, you have the blade of the foot out, and it's almost like a karate chop for your foot, and you have more of like a slashing area versus that big jolt. You get it sideways and you're almost slicing into that body, into the liver, into the solar plexus, spleen side, wherever you're hitting with that side kick, okay? So, in the air a few times, I'm gonna go ahead and face this way. Notice that time I landed forward in the front. This time I'm gonna go ahead and recoil and get back. Okay? Big mistakes that people do on this kick is they try to round it out like a round kick or a roundhouse or a wheel kick, whatever you know it as, meaning that this power leg, when they pivot, they will bring that knee up all the way around and then try to shoot it out. That is not really a side kick. That is more of a round kick ending in a side kick position. The big thing I like to tell you is after this pivot, when I do this, I like to use the word slice. Slice this knee to the opposite end. Slice. So you go straight up, all right? Notice the difference. Bringing it around, versus. Okay, now, the reason why that's so big of a deal is, I'm gonna use the bag for this part. If your opponent is moving into your kick, if you do it incorrect, you're gonna get jammed up. What that means is your opponent steps in and they're gonna meet up with your knee and you're not gonna have the chance to extend your side kick. So I'm gonna do it incorrectly. All right, my opponent's already here. I can't extend my side kick past them. Versus, even if I'm at this range nice and close, even though I was super close, if you do the fold properly, you can get your foot into the proper position and still have those mechanics. Another thing that slicing does is it takes away a lot of power. So make sure, not slicing takes away a lot of power. So make sure when you're going, you slice, you pivot. Here is where you have the option to tilt away, but you have to be careful. If you tilt early, it's gonna equal height. And although it might look really cool to kick high on a side kick, it's usually not the most effective. This is a really small target up here versus the whole body below. Put those side kicks right in the body. It's the most effective place for them. So, but as a quick example, if I lean early, I fold, I lean now, boom! You get your height on your side kick. If I lean late, it's gonna equal power through the bag, watch. So, leaning a little bit earlier versus later, and how you drive. A big cue I like to give is, once my foot is right about here, an inch or two away, that is when I like to implement that lean. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening to this video. Please leave comments below. Guys, this is the way that I throw a power or rear leg side kick. I know that there's plenty of different variations, and I know there's somebody out there behind a keyboard shouting at me right now. That's okay. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. There are different ways. This is the way that I find most effective through my personal experience as a martial artist, as a professional kickboxer, a professional world champion in Muay Thai. So there's a lot of different options for everybody. Please take it with a grain of salt, guys. I hope that this video helps somebody out there. If it did, that's all I really care about. Guys, if you have any questions, or if you're interested in learning more, and this is maybe above you, I do sell fundamentals. I sell a whole course that covers everything: stance, guard, footwork, boxing, knees, elbows, kicks, and some Kempo karate as well. If you're interested, please send me a direct message. Let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you in your martial arts and fitness journey. Thank you all very much.